How's it going, guys? It's the Peruvian Trucker back with another video. I'm coming at you from the Springfield terminal. The Millennium Building is somewhere over there. The trailer shop somewhere behind me. And I'm out here parked on the combo lot. I'm bobtailed because I just got out of the tractor shop because I just had my camera installed. And I gotta be honest, for months leading to me getting the camera, I read countless comments of people talking about how the truck is their home and how the camera was going to be an invasion of privacy. And I think I found a solution to that problem. So there's this thing, it comes with the Freightliner. It's called the curtain. Okay guys, so clearly I'm joking. I understand what people mean when it comes to the invasion of privacy or their concern with privacy. But the thing is that Prime is implementing this fleet-wide, so if you want to continue to work with Prime or for Prime, you need to get a camera installed on your truck. And I mentioned this in my last video. I wasn't planning on getting it installed right away or this soon. Initially, I was going to, I went through stages. I went home a couple of weeks ago, and my plan was, as soon as I get back on the road, I'm going to just go to the terminal, get it installed, and get it over with. But then, when I left my house, I changed my mind. I was like, I'm going to be running for 6 months, nonstop, so let them pull me in when they choose. That way, you know, I won't be jumping off the cliff before I have to. And as I was leaving Florida, I had a fuel stop for Springfield. So then I came to terms with the fact that I was going to get the camera. The funny thing is that the next morning on my next shift, my fuel stop changed, and they told me to fuel in Little Rock, Arkansas. But at that point, I had already rationalized the idea of the camera, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go to Springfield anyway and drop this trailer because I want to deal with a bunch of stuff. And here I am. And you know, for months, I know two people that have cameras. One was brought into the terminal to get a camera. The other one got it voluntarily. And for the longest time, when I found out that this friend of mine voluntarily got the camera, you know, I told him straight up, hey man, if you want to be the first one to jump off a cliff, you go right ahead. And I kind of laugh at it now because now I'm one of those people jumping off a cliff preemptively. But again, like I've mentioned, I'm determined to make it work. If I have to adjust or change my driving behavior, I will. I really don't think that it's going to be an issue, but I hate that I'm going to find out the hard way. And that's all I can say right now, because there's nothing else that I can say. Okay guys, so it is another day. I have the camera installed yesterday at around 8 o'clock at night, and it is 3:52 in the afternoon. I've been driving the truck a little bit here in Springfield, running some errands, and I've gotten acclimated with the tablet. It's really intuitive. I really like it, which is kind of what I was expecting when I did my research. But I am here in line for the assessment bay because I have not heard a peep from the camera all day. I've also looked here on the tablet to make sure that, ooh. Sorry about that, guys. I've also been looking here in the tablet to make sure that there were no events. And so far, there are no events. Let's see if I can get you to see. Yeah. There we go. I guess, I don't know. The reflection and the reflection and the reflection. But I just want to go to the assessment bay and make sure that the speaker on the camera is working. Because I really didn't hear anything. I picked up my water bottle while I was driving and opened it to see if it would trigger something, and it didn't. So I just want to make sure that everything is in order. Well, guys, after 4 days sitting at the terminal, I'm finally completing my first load with the camera. I'm right here at the Walmart in Oshalata, on the line to check in at the Walmart in Oshalata, Oklahoma. And I just did my first 3 hours and 18 minutes with the camera on. I'm gonna check in real quick, and I'm gonna give you some thoughts. It's starting to rain. That's no good. 352. Okay, guys, so I'm already docked, and like I mentioned, I'm here at the Walmart in Oshalata, Oklahoma, and this has been my first real drive on duty with the camera. Like I mentioned, I drove for 3 hours and 18 minutes ish, plus a yard move to get to this spot. And first things first, I was listening to music, and maybe my music was louder than the speaker of the camera, maybe not. All I can tell you is that I only heard it ding at me once. It's been raining over here. There were a couple of times where my lane departure warning got triggered, but I didn't hear anything from the camera. The only time that I heard something from the camera was when there was a trailer passing me with a bunch of traffic behind it, and I flashed him to let him in front of me, let him know that he cleared me so he would get in front of me. And the camera didn't like how close he was to me at that point. I had already disengaged my cruise control, and I was just coasting to build some distance. But as soon as that truck was in front of me, I got a warning about maintain safe distance or something along those lines. I think it was literally maintain safe distance. I heard that, and it didn't trigger any events. If I go to my app here, I don't want to move my phone. My phone's resting on the tablet. But if I go to my app, the DriveWise app, nothing's changed. I have no points, no events, no nothing. So far, I mean, that's my my experience. We're going to continue to test the system for a couple more days before I release this video to get a bigger picture. The one thing that I can tell you that is very, I don't know what the word is. It kind of sinks my heart a little bit. I'll just say it like that. Is that, I'm looking at my miles to my destination. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm almost there. But it just hits different. I don't know if this is something that other people can relate to, but I realized today that getting to my destination, getting the load off of me, even while I'm still driving the truck after, or with the trailer, etc., it's like taking a load off your back. No pun intended. And what I've realized that I didn't think about is that now you never have a load off your back. You know, that camera is always there. It doesn't matter if you have a load, doesn't matter if you're bobtailing, doesn't matter if you're deadheading, whatever you're doing, it's looking at you. So you can't catch a break. You can't take a deep breath and sigh because you're done. The only time that you're done is when you're out of this seat. And that's it. I mean, it's not depressing. It's, I don't know that sad's the word. I think sad is a little too dramatic. But I don't know what the word is, honestly. I mean, but it's definitely not the same feeling, you know. And maybe this is something that I will get used to. Maybe it'll go away. I'm not sure. It sucks a little bit of the joy. That's maybe the best way to describe it. Another thing that was a concern to me was that I had heard about yawning and how the camera will trigger a drowsy alert. So I didn't really get a good yawn while I was driving here. You know, like a good yawn, like a one of those. Because I was nervous of triggering a warning. You know, I think that you got to do it like 3 times within 5 minutes or something like that. So every time that I felt like yawning, I did one of those where you just like go like this and you breathe in, and that's not a yawn. That doesn't do it. You know, you get no release. So I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just a nitpick, I guess, but just pointing it out. The other thing is that when I was thinking about how it would be when I had the camera, I always wondered if I would be concerned about someone looking at me when I'm singing. I like singing in the truck, blasting my music, and I'm not a great singer, but it doesn't matter because I'm by myself. So I was feeling a little self-conscious, or I was overthinking how it would be to have the camera in the truck. That went away. Like, not 5 miles out of Springfield, I was blasting my music, just singing, without a care. And I shouldn't care because it is my truck. I shouldn't let the camera control those things about my lifestyle. It's already controlling enough. But like I mentioned, we're going to run it for a couple more days before I release this video. I still want to see what else may happen. Well guys, so it is another day. I've been running with the camera set up for about 4 days. Today is the 4th day. And I am sad to report that I've dropped 1 spot. I used to be at 1,049, or my score used to be 1,049, now it's 1,050. I'm heartbroken, I'm embarrassed. I don't know how I'm gonna cope. But anyway, currently the system is being worked on. Usually both lights in the camera have to be green, but right now one's green and one's red because apparently with all the drivers that have gotten the camera in the last couple of days, the system can't handle it. So it really hasn't triggered anything for me in the last day or two. Which really means that it hasn't triggered anything since I got that following too close or safe distance warning on my first day. So we're gonna keep driving. We're gonna pay attention to it and see if anything else comes up. But honestly, I mean, other than the vibe of potentially being looked at or watched, my driving habits haven't really changed. When it comes to loads, I am currently on a 2-stop load that picked up in Arkansas, south of Bentonville. What is it, Springdale, I think. The first stop was in Cartersville, and I am now going to New Albany, Mississippi for my last stop. It is 5:21 in the afternoon. I'm roughly 300 miles away and it delivers at midnight, so I'm gonna start heading out right now. We'll see. Okay guys, so I'm debating whether or not I should just wrap up this video. Based on my experience so far, which is about 5 days of driving with the camera. Light's been red for like 2 days, but it still gives me warnings if I get too close to another vehicle. It says maintain safe distance. But the reason why I am deciding or thinking that I should just wrap up my first impressions is because I've only driven 3 hours today. Basically, deadheading from my last 90 to this pickup that I'm at right now, with a stop at the gym in the middle. About 120 miles, so 2 hours, and then with the stop and go traffic, about another 40 minutes, 35 minutes. So, and 90% of that time, I was on the phone. Not doing anything different that I would, have my headset. Not thinking about the camera whatsoever, just driving the way that I would drive when I'm not thinking about it. And it was fine. No triggers, nothing different from the ordinary. Now, I don't want you to take this as me saying that I'm happy with the camera. I still would rather not have it in the truck. But still, it hit me that nothing's changed when it comes to the way I drive. I already assimilated it, and I'm already doing what I would do regardless. That's not to say, that doesn't mean that if I run a yellow light that turns red, I'm not gonna be looking at the camera to see what it says or how it reacts. But I don't think that is considerably different from how I would feel if I was cutting it close at an intersection. I wouldn't say that I would be on edge, but I would think about it or overthink it for a couple seconds, maybe a minute, and then just move on to the rest of my drive. I would probably thread over it for a little bit, and it's going to be about the same with the camera, I'm guessing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Basically, it hasn't changed my behavior so far. 5 days in. Apparently, they're doing an update. That's why one of the lights is red. They're doing an update to account for all the other drivers, all the new drivers. The number has definitely gone up to 3,400 drivers as of this video, as of the time that I'm making this video. And this experience this last week has made me realize that Prime took advantage of the camera uncertainty situation. What do I mean by that? I'm guessing that there were a lot of people like me that didn't know what to expect with the camera system. And that uncertainty threw me, at least, into a limbo of not knowing if I should order my truck, if I should wait until the system was disclosed, because of the impact that the camera could potentially have with me owning my own truck, my revenue, my ability to drive for Prime. And I don't know if this was intentional, but Prime definitely came out on top with that uncertainty, because it kept people in trucks waiting for that information, kept them from making their move. It certainly did for me. They certainly kept me from making my move. I mentioned this one in the video ordering my truck about the uncertainty. Had I known that this system was going to be the way that it was, or how it is up to this point, hell, I would have ordered my truck a year ago, May of 2023. And I would be closer to not having a truck payment, closer to being able to take my truck elsewhere if I wanted to, closer to being free. Now, to that, I mean, like I said, Prime came on top, I think. I don't know if that was their intention or on why they did it. People say that they just did it the way they did it because they didn't want a lot of drivers leaving right away. They were doing some damage control, if you will. Maybe that's the case. But it worked out for them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. At this point, it is what it is. I'm still happy that I have my truck right now, and I'm going to continue to make the best of my situation at Prime, make the most of it. And like I mentioned, this is my first impression so far since I've had the camera. 5 days, 6 days at this point of driving. No, 5 days of driving. I left the terminal on Sunday night. Today's Thursday. 4 days. Whatever. Enough time, I think. But I really hope that the situation stays the same. I really don't want to bring more attention to myself than what's needed. I'd rather stay under the radar. And I'm hoping that that's the way that it continues to be. Please comment below if you have the camera, what's your experience, maybe if it's the same as me. I mentioned earlier in the week and in another clip how once you deliver a load and you're off a load, you still can't catch your breath because the camera is still there. And that is still true. The camera will be there 24/7. But at this point, I think I've just assimilated it, and maybe that's why. Maybe I'm to blame for companies getting their way, I guess. I don't know. I still think that this is how it's going to be in the future. But it does concern me a little bit. What else are they going to push on us or onto us? I'm just going to leave it at that. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great week. Comment below. Bye. Hey guys, so it is day 7 of me driving with the camera installed. I want to start by thanking everybody that watched to this portion of the video, or if you made it to this part of the video. Some of you might have noticed that I mentioned multiple times throughout the video that the red light was on in the camera, and I took pictures of the red light being on in the camera throughout the last couple days. Believe it or not, I didn't realize that there is a very little diagram on the camera that explains that if there's a red light and a green light, the driver facing portion isn't working. So effectively half of the time that I've been driving, the camera hasn't been working. Over half the time. I want to say like 70% of the time. And I thought that it was. But I kept the video mostly the same because my my impressions and reactions really haven't changed. I've had the camera with both green lights on for the last 2 days, and it's been pretty much the same. You know, I've been on the phone, I've been doing my regular thing, just focused on the road, driving 60 miles an hour to avoid any, any encounters, let's just say. And it's been fairly okay, with one exception. I did get an alert, a severe alert, yesterday. This happened on a Saturday. Today is Sunday. So I didn't really get many answers on what's going to happen, and I'm not that educated on what the procedure is, let's say. So we will tackle this on the next video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great week.